I wonder how stupid you are if you don't know the difference between an array list and an array. So if you don't know, go watch the video of the array list and then come watch the video of the array, okay? And also I wonder how stupid you are if you don't know, if you are given a task to store the student grades and to make modification on them and you don't know. This is a big problem. So watch this video, okay? So an array stores many values of the same type in one variable, same as the array list. It helps us manage related data like student grades without creating many separate variables, okay? So instead of writing integer grade 1 equal 85, grade 2 equal 90, and etc., we can in one line write this syntax, okay? This represents an array, or we initialize or we create an empty array such this integer bracket grades. The grades is the name of the array, integer what are the type of the elements inside the array, and the new integer bracket meaning new array, okay? This is an empty array and this is a filled array, for example, okay? So moving to the next point, which is the index. We know that a for loop starts by integer I equals 0, and this means that in Java we start by the index 0 and not 1, okay? Which is the opposite in Python. So index is 0 for the first element, for the second element the index is 1, and etc. So grades at 0, this how we represent the first element in the array grades. Grades at 0 is 85. Grades at 3, okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3 is 95, okay? So moving to the third point, which is the length. Use grades.length to know how many values are inside the array. For example, if we print on the screen grades.length, we will see 5, which is how many elements in the array, okay? And the last point, which is how to traverse the array. For integer I equals 0, start by I equals 0 as long as I is less than, strictly less than the grades.length. Why strictly? Because we started by 0 and not by 1, okay? I plus plus system.out.println the grades at I, print the student grade at I, okay? So the first, the second, the third, etc., okay? And I prepared a small application which is related, or a small system to calculate the sum and the highest grade in a class, okay? So we have a filled array, integer brackets grades. The array is named by grades, okay? We have 5 grades, which are these, okay? So we need to know the average, and to know the average we need to know the sum, yes, okay? Because the average is the sum divided by the how many students in the class, yes, okay? And we need to know the highest grade, okay? Starting before we start by the for loop, we put the highest grade is the first element, okay? Why the first element? Because we usually start the for loop from the first, okay? So the first element is grades at 0. For integer I equals 0, as long as I is less than grades.length I plus plus, we need the sum. So the sum equal the previous sum plus grades at I. This causes all the elements to be summed in one variable, which is sum, okay? And now we need the highest. To know the highest, if grades at I, if the element that we are, for example, we are in the second element, okay? We pass the first element, we are in the second element. If 90 here, if 90 is bigger than the highest, the first element that we stored in the variable, okay? So the highest is the grades at I, which is 90, okay? And repeat this to finish the for loop. And then when we traverse all the array, we are end in the highest grade in the variable highest, okay? And then we need the double average equal the sum divided by the grades.length. As we said, the grades.length gives us how many students in the class, or how many students in the array. So the sum, why we put double? To make sure if the because we need the average is double, yes? So we make double the sum divided by grades.length, okay? And then we print the highest and then the average.